between the American ideal. We increased Pell Grants by 8 in Israel, sent laying out his specific concrete.
In the recent years, the United States has faced a multitude of challenges, with many looking to their leaders for solutions. Joe Biden, the 46th President of the United States, came into office with promises of change and progress. However, as time has passed, the reality of his presidency has left many disillusioned and disappointed. Let's delve into why some believe Joe Biden is on track to becoming one of the worst presidents in American history. Biden's domestic policies were expected to address the pressing issues facing the nation, but many have fallen short. Take the economy, for example. Despite pledges to boost employment and stimulate growth, the economy continues to struggle. Rising inflation has made it harder for families to make ends meet, and job growth remains sluggish in certain sectors. Healthcare is another area where Biden's promises have yet to materialize. While efforts were made to expand access to affordable healthcare, the implementation has been marred by challenges and setbacks. Additionally, immigration reform, a cornerstone of Biden's platform, has faced significant obstacles, with the situation at the southern border drawing criticism from both sides of the political aisle. These failures in domestic policy have left many Americans feeling let down and uncertain about the future. Biden's foreign policy approach has encountered a myriad of obstacles, revealing significant shortcomings in his administration's strategies. Despite initial efforts to mend fractured alliances, particularly with NATO and European partners, tensions persist with formidable global players like China and Russia. The administration's responses to provocations and human rights abuses in these regions have been criticized for being inconsistent and lacking in firmness, raising doubts about the administration's ability to effectively safeguard American interests abroad. Furthermore, the decision to withdraw troops from Afghanistan, while framed as a decisive move to end America's longest war, backfired spectacularly. The chaotic evacuation process and the subsequent rapid collapse of the Afghan government demonstrated a failure in planning and execution, tarnishing America's credibility on the world stage and emboldening adversaries. The repercussions of this debacle are far-reaching, with questions arising about the administration's foresight and its grasp of complex geopolitical realities. Moreover, emerging threats such as cyberattacks and terrorism pose significant challenges to national security. Yet the Biden administration has struggled to formulate comprehensive strategies to address these evolving dangers. Central to the evaluation of any presidency is the leadership exhibited by the incumbent, and Biden's leadership style has come under intense scrutiny. Critics argue that his approach lacks decisiveness, often characterized by hesitancy and vacillation on critical issues. This perceived lack of assertiveness has eroded confidence in the administration's ability to provide strong and steady guidance in times of uncertainty. Furthermore, concerns have been raised regarding the transparency and communication efforts of the Biden administration. Instances of mixed messaging and a failure to effectively convey policy objectives have contributed to public confusion and skepticism. The absence of clear and consistent communication channels has exacerbated existing divisions within society, hindering efforts to foster unity and collective action in addressing pressing challenges. Additionally, Biden's efficacy in navigating the complexities of partisan politics has been called into question. Despite efforts to promote bipartisanship and cooperation, entrenched ideological divides have stymied progress on key legislative initiatives, exacerbating gridlock and disillusionment among the electorate. The inability to broker meaningful compromises and enact impactful reforms has reinforced perceptions of ineffective governance under the Biden presidency, further cementing his legacy as one of the least effective leaders in American history. To contextualize the shortcomings of Joe Biden's presidency, it's essential to draw comparisons with past administrations that have faced similar challenges or controversies. While every presidency is unique in its own right, certain parallels can be drawn to shed light on patterns of governance and leadership styles. One notable comparison can be made to the presidency of Jimmy Carter, whose tenure was marked by economic stagnation, foreign policy setbacks, and a perceived lack of leadership effectiveness. Like Biden, Carter faced difficulties in managing both domestic and international affairs, grappling with issues such as inflation, energy crisis, and diplomatic tensions. The inability to enact meaningful reforms and address mounting challenges contributed to Carter's reputation as one of the least successful presidents in modern history. Another relevant comparison is with the presidency of George W. Bush, particularly in terms of foreign policy decisions and their consequences. Bush's administration faced intense scrutiny and criticism for its handling of the Iraq War and the broader war on terror. The failure to adequately plan for post-conflict stabilization and the proliferation of misinformation regarding weapons of mass destruction damaged America's credibility and led to prolonged military engagements with uncertain outcomes. Similarly, Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan and the ensuing chaos have drawn parallels to the strategic missteps of the Bush administration, raising doubts about the administration's competence and foresight in navigating complex geopolitical landscapes. By examining the similarities between Biden's presidency and those of past leaders who faced significant challenges, it becomes evident that certain patterns of governance and decision-making have persisted across administrations. While each presidency is shaped by its unique circumstances and contexts, the recurring themes of ineffective leadership, policy failures, and foreign policy blunders underscore the reasons why some view Joe Biden as one of the worst presidents in American history.